It's finally here.
Level 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. 2018 Fireballs here, back with another MLB 9 Innings 24 video. And guys, I am super stoked for today's video. Today, I'll be looking at all of the new things that have been added into the game after the first live update has just dropped. It's version 9.0.2, and looking at the home screen, it's epic, guys. This is amazing. There's new cards that have been added into the game, new primes. We're going to look at all of that today, and I hope you guys are just as ready as I am and just as excited as I am, so let's hop straight into it. So right off the bat, once you get into the game, it doesn't look like much has changed on the home screen, but let's get into the update notices and check out everything that Com2uS has added into the game, and let me tell you guys, it is a lot. First off, let's look at the pre-update notice that was given out a little while ago. Maybe by a little while I mean a couple days, but let's go through this together and see everything that Com2uS has added after the first live update. So first off, we read here, greetings from Com2uS, enjoy your own MLB experience. We're here to inform you about the version 9.0.2 update for MLB 9 Innings. Please check the details below. And the update took place on March 27th at 10 p.m. through March 28th at 12 a.m. So if you guys haven't, go to your Google Play Store or your App Store and update the game so that your game can look like this. And first off, starting off really good right here, the main title and icon replacement. In celebration of the 2024 opening season or season opening, the main title screen and icons will be changed. And me personally, guys, I love this new icon screen. It's darker, it gives a better, it just has a better vibe to it than the other one from last year. Last year's one wasn't bad at all. I liked the way that Ken Griffey and Mike Trout were kind of bouncing off each other, both swinging the bat, but here it kind of makes it more like a rivalry, kind of like the Cody Bellinger and the Mike Trout logo that the game had a couple of years back. So I really like the darker shade. It's not so blinding to the eyes too, and then the stadiums and the backgrounds for both of them is just really epic in my opinion. So I give this like an A+ grade right off the bat for the game, and I just absolutely, I can't tell you guys how much I love the new home screen before you get into the game. Second, here we have new data for the 2024 season, and this is including the scheduling for the 2024 season in accordance with the in real life, the MLB regular season schedule. So that's going to be applied to League Master Mode and League Mode. As you guys can see here, the calendar is going to shift. And it says 2024 live players along with the latest MLB stadiums and uniforms will be implemented. So I do hope that means that Rogers Center is updated. I know someone brought that up in a comment on a live stream that I had a little while back. So I hope they updated that. I don't know if I haven't checked the stadiums yet or seen the in-game stadiums, but I hope they revised and updated all the stadiums to their current dimensions and everything like that. Sponsor sleeve patches will be added starting from 2024 uniforms. Unused uniforms will be sold in the shop as uniforms from past years. So these are the new uniforms that have come out over the off season, and I believe they're Nike branded right now, and then they have logos for sponsorships on the side. So you can purchase the these what are they called? I'm losing words. These uniforms in the shop, and they're about 2,000 stars each. So pretty awesome right there. Implementation of new MLB rules. So the tiebreaker rule will be added to the league mode. Now this is basically just the ghost runner. If you guys don't know, in Major League Baseball, when you go to extra innings, at the top of the 10th inning, a ghost runner will be placed on second base, and it's been like that for like the past 2.5-3 years, ever since 2020. So it says if a winner isn't determined within the 9 regular innings, the offensive team will start with a runner on second base and no outs starting from the 10th inning. The player who made the last out in the previous inning will be placed on the second base as the runner. So if the 9-hole hitter, or sorry, there's an example right here. If the leadoff hitter in the 10th inning is the third batter, the second batter will be placed on second base. So pretty straightforward. I don't think I have to read through all of this for this to you guys, because it's pretty straightforward. It's just basically the ghost runner rule. Every single extra inning or extra half inning after the 9th inning, there's going to be a ghost runner on second base starting off at that during that inning. Now, here we're getting to the good stuff right here. 5th historic player cards are added into the game. Not quite yet. Will be added in a couple days, but these are the new ones coming to the game. And I like the new UI. for these cards. It used to be just like silver and kind of darker shaded, but there's actually color to the players now, which I really enjoy. So the 5 new guys are going to be Mariano Rivera, Bob Gibson, Dennis Eckersley, Eddie Murray, and Joe Morgan. So Mariano Rivera is getting a 2008 Yankees card. He's getting a Supreme, a Signature, and a Normal, and he's a closer. I'm glad they added Rivera into the game. I mentioned this in my last video. Well deserved for Mariano. Maybe they'll eventually add him as a regular card in the game. We'll see, but Supreme card, definitely well deserved. Then you have Bob Gibson. This is the one I called, guys. I called this from like miles away. I was saying they were going to give him one months ago, and it turns out they did. St. Louis 1968 card, Supreme, Signature, and Vintage, and he's a starting pitcher. Then you got Dennis Eckersley for the Oakland Athletics. Another great card here, similar to, I know they gave Raleigh Fingers a legend in this game, and I know they could have probably done it for Dennis Eckersley as well, but no problem with them giving him a Supreme card and a Historic Player card. So he also has a Supreme, a Signature, and a Vintage, and he is also a closing pitcher. Then you have Eddie Murray right here, the first of the 2 Historic Players with multiple teams. He has a 1982 Baltimore Orioles card, and he has a 1990 Los Angeles Dodgers card. And the Baltimore Orioles card is going to get the Supreme, while the Dodgers card is just going to get a Signature and a Vintage. And then finally, Joe Morgan, who has 3 different teams. He has a Cincinnati card from 1975, Houston Astros from the 1971 season, and a San Francisco Giants card from 1982. His Cincinnati card is going to get the Supreme, while the others are just going to get Signatures and Vintages. So I'll definitely be looking for Eddie Murray and Joe Morgan for my Houston and my Dodgers teams. And I'm probably not going to be purchasing the Historic Players for any of my teams. Like I said before, they're cool, but for me personally, they're not worth purchasing. But have all the fun you guys want with getting these new Historic Players. And it says the 5th Historic Supreme Players can only be acquired from the 5th Historic pack, which is pretty obvious. Normal, Vintage, and Signature Players can also be obtained from packs featuring their respective types. So you can pull these Vintage cards from Premium Vintage packs from any regular packs, just not the Supreme cards. All right, new skills and an improvement for existing skills. So a few new skills have been added for batters and pitchers. Let's go through them right here. For batters right here, we're starting off with Hard Hitter, which is a legend skill. And now this increases extra base hits in proportion to the basic power stat. Extra base hits will increase additionally when the hit timing is perfect. So this is a pretty similar skill, I would believe, to Bad Ball Hitter. I can see it being, legend skill is a legend skill, and I'm pretty sure this would be an A grade or a B+ grade at the least skill. So I definitely see a lot of people using this in the future. Then you have the gold skills right here, Super Sub and Strengthen the Strength. Super Sub increases the hit rate of the first at bat when pinch hitting in a tie or losing situation. So this skill is probably going to be more for people on the bench or players on the bench. So it's nice to have another skill that's for a bench player besides Pinch Hit Specialist, which is a bronze skill. So Super Sub, for you guys wondering, is probably going to be best used for your players on the bench. And then the Strength and the Strength increases power and eye, and additionally increases extra base hits and decreases strikeout rate when facing opposite hand pitchers. So I like how they added the opposite hand pitchers effect to this. Not that a lot of people play manually, but it does add a nice little element to the skill. And I believe that skill is probably going to be a B tier to a A- tier. I don't believe it's going to be a top tier skill personally, but we'll see. Only time will tell as the skill is used more and more. And then finally, the silver skill for batter is Overcome Weakness. It increases the lowest stat of the batter. If there are 2 or more low stat values, it increases the leftmost stat. So starting from left to right, if you say you have 68 base power or 68 base power and eye, it's going to go to power instead of eye. And if you were to have 68 base eye and 68 base speed, and those were the 2 lowest, it would go to eye instead of speed because eye is closer to the left side. And I don't think this is going to be a very impactful skill. It might be good for players with low eye or low power because power and eye are closer to the left side of the stats. But we'll see how it turns out. Only time will tell, like I said. And then pitcher skills here, we have 4 new pitcher skills. The first one is a legend skill. It's called Workhorse. It increases stamina and it consumes less stamina when the skill is activated, and it increases the chance of an easy out in proportion to the basic stamina stat. Not sure how this is going to be. It's probably going to be best used on the historic players and the legend players, especially the vintage legend players like Burt Blyleven, Bob Feller, all these guys with high stamina, Lefty Grove, and it's probably going to be best used on those players because they have the highest stamina out of most other cards in the game. So I can see it being a mid-tier legend skill to a low high tier legend skill, if that makes sense, but I don't see it being like slow starter or control master level elite. So we'll see how it turns out. For the gold skills, you have elite closer, and this decreases the opponent's hitter's average and increases strikeout rate until the end of the inning if you take the mound as a closing pitcher. So every team with a closing pitcher is going to want to get elite closer for their closing pitcher. I'm going to assume this is going to be an A+ skill or S tier skill for closing pitchers, and it's going to be a must roll. So I'm probably going to try and get it on all my closing pitchers. I'd probably advise you guys to get it as well. But yet again, it hasn't been tested yet, so we'll see what happens. Ground baller is the second gold skill for pitchers. It increases the ratio of ground balls and decreases slugging. The higher the fielding stats, basic stats, grade increase and development of catchers and infielders, the more powerful its effect has. So this is going to be an interesting one because high fielding for base stats for fielders, it's going to be like you're going to have to really gauge and do all the math and observe and really keep in mind who you have on your team when you get this skill, because its effectiveness seems to be based highly on the players that you have in your lineup. So you're probably going to want to take that into consideration if you roll this skill. I'm going to test it out and see how it does when I roll it on my pitchers, but I'm going to assume this is going to be more important for starters rather than relief pitchers. And then the only silver skill is pace setter. This increases location and break and consumes less stamina. Doesn't seem like it's going to have a very significant effect on like outcomes of games because it's only a silver skill and it doesn't have a very detailed description, but who knows, it might be something sneaky like Pitching Machine used to be back in the day. All right, and then there's also been improvement on existing skills, and the two skills that have been improved are cleaning up your mess and put away pitch. Now for cleaning up your mess has always been a skill where if a runner on base is caused by a self-inflicted mistake, all stats excluding stamina will be increased and decreased stats are restored. And now the change to that is instead of doing that, it's going to increase the chance of an easy out if the runner on base is caused by the pitcher's self-inflicted mistake. So basically, if he allows a base hit or hits the batter or walks the batter, then the effect strengthens as there is more base runners caused by the pitcher's self-inflicted mistake, but consumes more stamina. So I don't know how to feel about this. I really don't think that the clean up your mess skill is going to be much better than it, has been in the past. Way back in like 2018, 2017, cleaning up your mess was endgame. Nowadays, it's kind of just like it's like a C+ at most, in my opinion. Some may consider it a B tier skill, but cleaning up your mess now, I really don't see it being as an effective skill like it used to be anymore. I could be wrong though, and the change may bring it back to what it used to be, but based on the description, it doesn't seem like it, because bottom line is when you allow base runners, you're going to allow runs, and base runners are a no-go in this game. You lose stamina on your pitcher gets tired, you use more pitches, you use more energy. I just don't see it being effective like it used to be. But that's just my opinion. We'll see how it turns out. And then put away pitch. Before, you would throw a kill shot with a fixed chance in a 2-strike situation, and it greatly increased the chance of a strikeout when you threw a kill shot. So basically, you had the chance of getting a kill shot with one of your pitches, and you would see it glow during manual mode, and you would use that, and basically it would be a guaranteed strikeout every time, but only in 2-strike situations. Now the improvement is when the skill is activated, the probability of a strikeout increases even more. So basically, if your pitcher has this skill, he's probably going to get more strikeouts, which is I'm going to guess this skill is going to be a lot better than it used to be, because strikeouts are a good sign. If your pitcher is striking out batters, then they're not going to allow base runners, they're not going to get as tired, they're going to have more confidence, and they're going to perform much better. So higher strikeout rate in this game is going to be very, very important. So I can definitely see put away pitch being very impactful, and it's probably going to be a third skill at the most. I don't see it being a second skill on any like endgame pitcher, but put away pitch can be a sneaky third skill for a lot of cards. And now moving on here, we're getting into the UI improvement in the game, and this, as you see right here, is like the new introduction to team games. So say I'm the Los Angeles Angels, if I play a game, This is going to be the screen that I see when the game opens up, when I push Let's Play Ball, or whatever you push when you play a league game or a ranked battle game. And then you can see here, this is what it looks like in manual. The scoreboard's on the bottom of the screen. The pitches have just slightly different UI. It's on the right side. You can see a lot more of the screen, or a lot more of the game in the playing field now. I like that, because before the buttons would be like crammed and you could hardly see, you know, the surrounding area around the batter and the pitcher. And then also, it's kind of like MLB The Show here, where they show the little pitch box and where the pitch landed, and you can see the timing of the batter. And it's kind of like like I said, it's kind of like they're taking off MLB The Show, and they've also been taking away from MLB Rivals, their other game. Luis Castillo, see here, this is what the introduction looks like to his pitching stats before the game starts, like presenting the pitcher, which is really cool. And then there's also like new postseason introductions as well to your team, but I don't have time to get into that. We'll get into that maybe in a later video. New items added into the game. So this is an interesting thing to me. New basic stat adjust tickets have been added into the game. So the description here says one random stat among the basic stats will increase, while other random stats will decrease by the same amount. So that's when you use this item. So if you use a bronze basic stat adjust ticket, say you have 71 power and 71 eye. If you use this, it's going to be random. So it may take eye, it may take speed, it may take field and increase it by 1. But it's going to have to decrease another stat by 1. So say it randomly picked contact and you get 1 plus to contact, and then you're going to have to decrease another stat. So say it just picks speed, so decreased 1 speed, increased 1 to contact. So that's the basic gist of how the basic stat adjust ticket works for bronze, and that ranges from 1 to 2. So you could get 2 or you could get 1. I hope that makes sense. It says this item can only be used for diamond and black diamond players, so it can't be used for bronzes, silvers, or golds. It cannot be used on players given as default. Not sure what that means. I'm pretty sure that means you can't use it on just like normal players or bronze players. The basic stat adjust ticket can only be used once per player. When used again on the same player, points will be consumed and the previous adjusted amount will be reset. It does not affect the amount of the grade increase. So here's an image of what that might look like. So you see here, +3 went to eye and -3 went to speed. So, and that's going to be for the basic stats. It's not going to change the development or the grade increase of the hitter. And then players with adjusted stats can use the basic stat adjust ticket by going to team management, player training, and reset changes button. And you see the reset changes button is on the bottom right here of the training screen. All right. New City Connect uniforms here, and this is only for 6 teams, but I do like that Comtuos is adding more City Connect uniforms. So it seems like they added one for Seattle, for Baltimore, and for Pittsburgh. They also added for the Rangers, the Braves, and the Cincinnati Reds. And it seems like these will be achievable through achievements instead of buying them through the store, which is pretty cool. It kind of pushes us as players to win the World Series or do whatever achievement there is necessary in order to earn these fancy uniforms. Not that they're really important, but they just make your players look cooler. All right, improvement of player stats calculation methods. So this is a bunch of like the nitty-gritty stat adjustment stuff. I'm not going to get into it because I don't understand it myself personally, but basically the stat counting is going to be more accurate than it used to be. And these others, just a few other updates here. Prime players will be added to the list of players available in My Free Agent. So I think this means, and don't quote me on this, but I think this means that prime players will be available in the My Free Agent market. I could be wrong, but from what that describes, it seems like that's the probable thing that's going to happen. So look out for prime players to appear in the My Free Agent market. And that's going to be something exciting, because if they appear as diamonds, I'm taking the prime player right away, no matter if it's a team card or not. I can use it in a combo, and diamond prime players are like amazing. I don't know what the probability of it is going to be, like appearing in the My Free Agent market, but I want to see if I'll check Reddit and stuff and see if anybody ends up pulling a prime player. A fixed issue where the gameplay is delayed when pitching is in the RBI mode, and the image of Mike Trout on the title screen for battles and special modes has been updated, as we already talked about. All right, and that's going to do it for the notice. Now let's look into the first live update. Let me see if I can find it right here. There it is, 2024 first live update. And Comtois dropped the bomb. So we thought primes were coming in February. Comtois just decided to say, nope, we're going to drop them all on opening day. And that's what they did here. 86 new signature players for every single team. Total, there's 86 new signature players. There's going to be, I didn't count the amount of primes, but there's a lot of new prime players. I'm not going to look at them because they are current players that aren't really new and they already have basic cards in the game. But what I want to do is I want to look at every single signature player and review their stats and show you guys what they look like. Also, I just want to mention this. If you guys noticed on Craig Kimbrell's card right here, is that an eye in the top left-hand corner? Or am I tripping? Am I tripping out, or am I seeing like an eyeball in the top left-hand corner of his picture? Let me know what you guys think, because it's kind of freaky to me. I see an eyeball, but I don't know if it's just me being weird or my eyesight is bad or whatever, but I see an eyeball, which is kind of funky and creeping me out. But I won't be looking at the prime players, but I'm going to show you guys all of these signature players and all their basic stats, so you guys don't have to look at them or look for them yourself. That'll be a little later on, as after we finish this portion of the video. But what I'm most excited for, and what I've been waiting for ages as a Boston Red Sox team and Boston Red Sox fan, David Ortiz is finally back in this game. I am so excited. I hope I get his card eventually. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't add like his 2015 Sig or his 2016 card, but I'm satisfied. They gave him an 05, an 06, and an 07 year. They also added Hideki Matsui, Hisashi Iwakuma, and what's his name? Kazuhiro Sasaki for the Mariners and for the Yankees. They also added Hideki Okijima for the Red Sox, and Koji Uehara is back in the game. So David Ortiz and Koji are technically not new. David Ortiz, well, okay, let me rephrase it. David Ortiz is technically new because those cards that he has now were never in the game prior. But Koji is not new because his cards that are in the game are actually, they've been in the game previously. So this is awesome. I hope I can get Koji, Okijima, and David Ortiz. So Ortiz got an 05, 06, and 07 year signature for all three of those years, and he got a prime for 2006, which I called that they were going to give him a 2006 prime eventually, and they finally did it. Hideki Matsui has 2 New York Yankees cards, a prime for 2004 and a signature for both 04 and 09. Hisashi Iwakuma has 2 Seattle signatures, one for 13 and one for 14, and he's a starting pitcher for both of those years. He also got a prime for 2013. Sasaki got a Seattle closing pitcher signature and prime for 2002, which is going to be great for my Mariners team, as well as Iwakuma. And then Koji got 3 different team cards. He got Baltimore 2010 closing pitcher, a prime and a signature. He got a 2011 Texas card, prime and a signature, and then a 2013 Boston card, prime and signature. I also saw that they added his 2014 signature for the Red Sox, which they didn't mention here in this update, so that's cool as well. And then Hideki Okijima only got 1 year for the Red Sox, 2007 relief pitcher. He has a prime and a sig as well. And then here they added some new faces for Okijima, Sasaki, and Matsui. Stances for Matsui, Okijima, and Sasaki as well. And then a few other things here. Skill mileage reset so this has been improved. So originally, for using premium skill change tickets, there was like a mileage system to where if you used a certain amount of legend or premium skill change tickets, you would get more premium skill change tickets and eventually a legend skill change ticket. So from the looks of it, they've cut it in half. So now instead of using, I believe it's like 50 to get a legendary skill change ticket, you only or instead of using, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, I have to back up a bit. So it's the same, but the changes you guys can see on the right side here, you get just premium skill change tickets instead of getting regular skill change tickets from the first 10 that you use, and then it goes all the way to 100 instead of just going to 50. So not that much has changed with it, except for the premium skill change ticket being added instead of just the regular skill change tickets, and then skill protection change tickets and select change tickets, the blues and the greens, have been added further down as you use 80 and then 90 premium skill change tickets. But other than that, that's pretty cool. I'm glad they made it a little longer. That way you can progress more and get more rewards after that. So excited to see how that turns out when I use my premium skill change tickets. Live premium player packs are also back. 2024 cards are now live cards and they can be achieved. And unfortunately, in league mode, you can get live season players again. But it's a thing that you got to deal with every single year, especially for like high rated teams like me. There will be live season intermediate packs and premium player packs coming from league mode. And then roster changes have been adjusted as well. But like I said earlier, let's look at all of these new SIG cards that have been added to the game starting right now. So starting off with the New York Yankees right here, we have this Fritz Pearson 1968 card, 72 base overall, 68 base velocity, 77 location. A pretty good card overall. He's middle of the pack as far as Yankee starters go. Not the greatest in the world, but not the worst either. So he'd be a really nice card for any Yankees team to get. He had a good year, 12-11 record, 2.63 ERA, 36 games started, and 115 strikeouts, which does explain the lower velocity. And then next for the batters for the Yankees, we have David Justice 2000 card. I can find it here. Let's see, David Justice 2000. Ooh, must be hard. Oh, there he is, David Justice 2000 right there. 72 base overall, 83 power, 75 contact, 74 eye. And then he has a 286 average, 41 homers, and 150 hits, 146 games played. I like that they added a Yankees card for David Justice because many people don't remember that he did play for the Yankees. He's mostly remembered for when he played on the Braves. Had a lot of hype around him during his rookie seasons. Yankees fans, I hope I'm not offending you or insulting you, but I just don't remember David Justice being on the Yankees as often as he was on the Braves, which I could be wrong. He was on the Guardians as well, which he does have a Guardians card in this game. And then the next Yankees card is a Mike Stanley 1993 SIG. I can find it right here. There it is, Mike Stanley 1993, 71 base overall, good power card, good contact, decent fielding for a catcher, can be adjusted when you train him, 26 home runs, 305 average, 130 games played. Nice that they added quite a few catcher cards. I'm talking about Come To Us. I'm glad they added a few catcher cards for a lot of these teams because catchers in this game are pretty hard to find. So it's nice that they've been adding more and more catchers as of late. All right, and for the Boston Red Sox here, we're going to look at all of these new cards. Let's start off with the batters first because they added quite a few new Red Sox batters. First off, we have Bill Mueller here, 2003, 67 base overall card, very low speed and very low fielding, but it makes up for it in the contact, power, and eye, 81 base contact, 72 base power, and 72 base eye, 326 average, 19 home runs, 146 games played that year for Bill Mueller, and he was a Red Sox legend during the 2004 run. I believe his 2003 year is much better hitting wise though than his 2004 card, so a good choice by Come To Us to give him this year instead of 04. And then looking at the three David Ortiz cards right here, 05 is a 68 base overall, 83 base power, 77 contact, 75 eye, and he's going to have low fielding and low speed on all of his cards because Ortiz was never a good hitter, or sorry, what am I saying? He was never a good fielder or a good runner. So looking at the stats, 300 average, 47 homers, 159 games played, a good card. And any of these cards, like I said, guys, I would take. 06 is definitely the best out of the three, though. Looking at it here, 70 base overall, 88 power, 75 contact, 79 eye, 58 to the speed, and 50 to the fielding, 287 average, 54 home run season right there, 151 games. This is the best David Ortiz card currently in the game. And then his 2007 year is nothing to sneeze at as well. 69 base overall, same speed and same fielding, this time with 82 contact, 79 power, and 79 eye. And I like it that they gave him a little more contact because he had a higher batting average this year. 332 average, 35 homers, and 149 games played. Love, love, love these new cards. And then Jason Bay 2009 is the last Red Sox hitting card that was added. 71 base overall. Once they added Jason Bay's Pirates card a while back, I was like, they gotta add his Red Sox card because his Red Sox year was like the best year of his career. 81 base power, 72 base size, 71 contact, good speed and decent fielding, 267 average, 36 homers, 13 stolen bases, 151 games played. I hope I can pull at least one of these new Red Sox hitters in the future. And then looking at the pitchers, the only new pitchers that were added for the Red Sox was Uehara and Okajima. So let's look at Okajima's card first. 65 base overall, unfortunately not the greatest base stats in the world, but still a very serviceable card. He is a left-handed relief pitcher, 66 games, 2.22 ERA, 3-2 record, 5 saves, 63 strikeouts. So understandable that they gave him a pretty low velocity rating. 63 strikeouts with that amount is actually pretty generous that they give him 68 base velocity. He could have honestly gotten 67 or 66, but I'm glad they gave him just that little bit of oomph for the velocity. But if I landed this as a relief pitcher, a SIG, I would definitely take it hands down. And then, like I said about Koji, they added 2 SIGs for him. First is 2013, which is his best year with the Red Sox, 69 base, and I love these basic stats. The break is a little low, but that's okay. I can get that high if I get him with a better train, and there's nothing bad with it at all. And then the season stats, he had 1.09 ERA, 21 saves, 101 strikeouts, 73 games played. And get this, guys, this was his age 38 season. So for him to be this dominant at that age was just crazy. And then he got a SIG for 2014, not as good as his 2013, but still actually a top-end relief pitcher for the Red Sox. 66 base overall, break is low again, but still a good season. 64 games, 252 average, or 252 ERA, 26 saves, 80 strikeouts. So I'm hoping I can get at least one of these relief pitchers eventually for my Red Sox team. So Tampa Bay got 2 new SIGs for their team, 1 pitcher and 1 batter. The first one is going to be Grant Balfour, 2008, and it looks like they really nerfed his break right there. 63 base break, 66 base overall, and looking at his card in the back, 51 games, 1.54 ERA, 6-2 record, and a 82 strikeout season. So he must not have a breaking pitch. I'm assuming he just has like fastballs or something, because that's very low break. Similar to this column A right here, 55 base break. This is because he never threw a breaking ball. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same for Balfour. If it's not, I feel kind of bad because, man, it's going to be hard to train for high break with 63 base break. You're just going to have to get a high base train if you're a Tampa team. And then for the batters, a Fred McGriff 1999 card, the first ever vintage card added for the Tampa Bay Rays, because the Rays were only established in 1998. So it's cool to see Fred McGriff get a 1999 card right here. 68 base overall, 78 base contact, 77 base power, 75 eye, low fielding and low speed, 310 average, 32 homers, and 144 games played. A good year for him, considering he was getting older at the time as well, closing in on age 40 before he retired. All right, and now moving on to the next team. So the Baltimore Orioles got 2 new SIGs, 1 batter and 1 pitcher. The first one they got was Rafael Palmeiro, 1998. He already had a Texas card in this game. Now he gets a Baltimore Orioles card, which is very appropriate. I knew with like Palmeiro and these other guys that have multiple years like Jason Bay, they were going to eventually get cards for other teams. I'm glad Comtois did this. For Palmeiro here, 162 games played, 296 average, 43 homers, 11 stolen bases. So a good year for him. 80 base power, 74 base eye, and 76 base contact, 73 base overall. And then for the pitcher, they got a, I believe it's a vintage, or no, it's actually a regular one. This is a Buddy Groom from 2002, 67 base overall. Not a very well-known player, which is what I like to see in this game when Comtois adds players that you just really don't know had good seasons. But Buddy Groom had a good season in 2002 for the Orioles as a reliever. 67 base velocity, 67 base overall actually, 70 games, 1.6 ERA with 48 strikeouts and 2 saves. Generous again to give him that many or that much velocity for the low amount of strikeouts, but nice to see that they added a Buddy Groom into this game, even though I really don't know who he is. And before I forget, Koji Uehara's 2010 Baltimore card right here, 65 base overall, low break again, just like Grant Balfour, but gonna have to get a high break train on him. 286 earned run average, 13 saves, and 55 strikeouts. For the Toronto Blue Jays, they have 3 new SIGs in the game, 1 relief pitcher and 2 batters. And the first one we're going to look at is BJ Ryan, 2006. He had a SIG for the Baltimore Orioles already in this game. Now he gets one for the Toronto Blue Jays. 67 base overall. Very, very solid year for him. 1.37 earned run average, 38 saves, and 86 strikeouts. Good high velocity for a relief pitcher. And this is definitely like an end game closing pitcher for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays don't have that many closers. So BJ Ryan is going to be sought after for a lot of Blue Jays teams. And then for the batters, like I said, they have 2 of them. One of them was Troy Glass, 2006. Glass, I don't believe he had a card in this game. I believe he also has an Angels SIG that we'll look at a little later. I could be wrong though, but He has a Blue Jays sig in this game now, 38 home runs, 252 batting average, 153 on the games played, and I'm glad, I'm glad to see Troy Glaus. Troy Glaus was one of my favorite players in MLB The Show growing up, and 69 base overall is nothing to sneeze at as well. And then the second Toronto sig given was a Fred McGriff for 1989, 70 base overall, 80 base power, 78 base eye, 72 contact, 36 home runs, 269 average, 161 games played. For the Minnesota Twins, they got 2 new batters and 1 new pitcher. Let's take a look at the batters first. First off, we have Kent Hrbek from the 1987 World Series winning Twins. I'm pretty sure they won in 87. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they won in 1987. 73 base overall, 81 power, 79 eye, 75 contact. And then looking at the stats in the back, 143 games played, 285 average, and 34 home runs. A pretty good amount of power for only 34 home runs hit. Usually you only see them get above 80 if they 80 power if they hit like 40 home runs or more. But for Kent Hrbek back in his day, I guess it was a lot of home runs, more than people would usually see. And then the next batter is a Gary Gaetti from 1988, 301 average, 28 home runs, 133 games played. And then his base stats here, 70 base overall, 78 base power, 78 contact, and 67 eye. So probably going to need a high eye train on him for you Twins teams that get him out there, and he is a third baseman as well, which is nice. And then for the pitchers, 1 vintage pitcher was added, and his name is, Jim Merritt here, 1967, 72 base overall, so middle of the pack starter for the Twins. Very average overall, really. 70 across the board, nothing lower than 70, which is really nice for his pitch tiers. 253 average, or 253 ERA, 13 wins. I'm thinking of batters right now, sorry. 13 wins, 7 losses, 161 strikeouts, and 37 games started. So a good middle of the pack Twins starter right there. For the Detroit Tigers, we only had 1 new signature added for the Tigers, and it was a batter. And that batter is Dwight Evans from 1985, or sorry, Darrell Evans, not Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans was on the Red Sox. But Darrell Evans here hit 40 home runs, 248 average, 151 games played, and his base stats are like this: 84 base power, 77 base eye, 69 base contact, and a 69 base overall, low fielding and low speed. So he is definitely a first base DH guy. Yeah, and he has a first base option. So a pretty cool card for Tigers teams. Wish they would have given a little more cards to the Tigers though. For the Chicago White Sox, they only had 1 card as well, just like the Detroit Tigers. This time though it was a pitcher, and this pitcher is Hoyt Wilhelm, 1967. Believe he already had a Baltimore card in this game, but they decided to give him a card for one of his White Sox years. And this is a closing pitcher card at 53 base stamina, 68 base overall. Love to see the high velocity, location, fastball, and even the break right there. So he's got a very, very nice mix of base stats. And then his stats in the back: 49 games played, 1.31 ERA, 8 wins, 3 losses, 12 saves, 76 strikeouts. For Cleveland, they got 3 new sigs, 2 pitchers, and 1 batter. Let's look at the pitchers first here. First off, we have this Sonny Siebert, 39 games played, 2.43 ERA, 16 wins, 8 losses, 191 strikeouts, and 1 save to his record. He is a starting pitcher, 74 base overall, which is really, really, really good. And he has 68 base stamina, which is not the highest. It would be better if it were a little higher, but the break and the fastball are absolutely incredible. Definitely going to have an easier time on this Cleveland pitcher to get S-tier pitches. 74 base velocity and 78 location is amazing as well. So this is on the top end of Cleveland starters. And for the loss of Corey Kluber, who is no longer in the game, he's a good replacement for a missing Corey Kluber now. And then you have Rafael Perez, 2007. Never heard of this guy in my life before, but he too has very, very good base break and fastball. Good amount of velocity and location as well at a 69 base, 1.78 ERA, 44 games played, 62 strikeouts, and 1 save for him. So Cleveland's pitching, if it wasn't good already, it's even that much better now since these 2 sigs have been added into the game. Now looking at their sole batter that was added into the game, if I can check his name right here, it's going to be a Toby Hara from 1982. I think that's how you say his name, but 71 base overall, 78 base contact, 72 power, and 77 eye, low fielding and low speed, 304 average, a full 162 games played, 25 home runs, 17 stolen bases. They could have honestly given him a little bit more speed for that amount of stolen bases, but the power, eye, and contact are all amazing, and this is one of the better Cleveland batters that is going to be for Cleveland teams now. For the Kansas City Royals, they have 2 new batters and 1 new pitcher. Let's look at the batters first here. First off, John Mayberry from 1975, 71 base overall, 82 eye, 78 power, and 76 contact. Low fielding and low speed, so that grade increase is going to go a lot to the left side. 34 homers, 291 average, 156 games played, and 5 stolen bases. A very, very nice hitting card, in my opinion. And then we have a Amos Otis right here, 298 average, 141 games played, 22 homers, 32 stolen bases. Surprising that his base speed is so low with 32 stolen bases. My personal opinion, he should have gotten at least 71 base speed, at least. And I'm pretty sure he should have gotten like 74 speed. Anyway, besides that point, it's weird how Comtuous dishes out stats sometimes. 75 eye, 74 power, and 77 contact, 71 base overall. A good card for Kansas City teams. Kansas City hasn't had the greatest players in the last few years, so it's nice to see that Comtuous has been adding some new Kansas City batters that are actually pretty decent. All right, and now for the pitchers here, I believe the only pitcher added was Busby 75, and we'll look at him right here. Starting pitcher for the Royals, middle of the pack starter, 72 base overall, 68 base velo, high stamina, so this card would be good for the new legend skill that will pertain to stamina, as well as that gold skill. 160 strikeouts, 18 and 12 record, 3.08 ERA, 34 games started. Now to the Los Angeles Angels, they actually got 4 new SIG players, 3 batters, and 1 pitcher. Looking at the first one going to be their pitcher, and a standalone pitcher that is, Frank Tanana. That's how you say his name. That's a very interesting last name. 76, not 76 base. No, sorry. Ugh. I saw 76 and I was like, whoa. He is a 76 base. That's insane. Holy cow. What in the world? 76 base overall card, 80 stamina, 76 fastball, 73 breaks, 74 velocity. This is one of the best pitchers in the game, guys. Holy cow. 261 strikeouts, 19 and 10 record, 2.43 ERA, 34 games started. So after the brain fart that I had a few seconds ago, this card is one of the best cards in the game. Oh my goodness, that's good for you Angels teams out there. Angels teams, this is like an endgame card here. This is probably the best overall starting pitcher that you guys have, next to Shohei Ohtani. So look for Tanana if you can. Frank Tanana. Very interesting name. And now looking at the batters here, they had 3 new batters added to their roster. And let's start off with Chili Davis from 1994. He already had a Twins card in this game. Now he has an Angels card, 68 base overall, 79 power, 78 contact, and 75 eye. 26 homers, 311 average, only 108 games played though. And then the next SIG was a Jim Edmonds from 1995. He had a Cardinals card in this game prior. Now he has a Angels card, 71 base overall, 67 base eye, 78 power, and 75 contact. Like that they gave him a lot of high fielding. He made an incredible catch back in the day. It's been on highlight reels around YouTube. You guys have probably seen it, but he made like an over-the-shoulder diving catch, which was insane. So pretty sneaky of them to give high fielding right there. 290 average, 33 homers, 141 games. Very, very solid card. And then finally, Tim Salmon from 2000, 68 base. They already gave Erstad a card, and they also gave Gloss. Oh yeah, so I was right. Gloss already did have a SIG, as I see it in the left-hand side of my screen. Gloss had a 2000 Angels SIG, and now Erstad gets his share of his SIG right here. 68 base, 78 power, 76 contact, 76 eye, 290 average, 34 homers, 158 games played. I love to see these guys from that 2002 World Series run from the Angels. Onto the Texas Rangers now. They also had 4 new SIGs, 3 batters, and 1 pitcher, same as the Los Angeles Angels. Let's take a look at the batters first here. First off, we have this Jeff Burrows right here. Yes, it is Jeff Burrows, 1974, 67 base overall, 74 power, 77 contact, 75 eye, low fielding and low speed, 301 average, 25 homers, 152 games played. Solid right fielder for the Texas Rangers. And then we have this Toby Harrah, 159 games played, 263 average, 27 homers, and 27 steals. Looking at his base stats, 70 base overall, 80 base eye, 75 base power, 71 base contact. Again, a little low on the speed for that amount of stolen bases. I don't know what it is with Comtuous not giving these vintage cards higher speed. beats me. And then finally, the last vintage batter that they got was this Rusty Greer 1997, 68 base overall, 80 base contact, 73 power, 75 I, 26 homers on the season, 321 average, 157 games. Good left field card for the Rangers. And I believe that is the last batter. Looking at the sole pitcher that was given to the Texas Rangers, it was a Zimmerman 2001, a Jeff Zimmerman 2001. He played 66 games that season, 2.40 ERA, 4-4 record with 28 saves and 72 strikeouts. 68 base overall, 70 base stats or higher across the board except for stamina, which is something you'd love to see on a relief pitcher. He's going to be easy to train for high S-tier pitches, and the Rangers definitely needed help in the bullpen. They don't have a lot of good cards for the bullpen. And then, before I forget, Koji Uehara 2011 right here, a 67 base overall card. Low break like his other cards have had, but great stats otherwise. 2.35 ERA, 65 games played, 2-3 record, 85 strikeouts. All right, for the Seattle Mariners, they didn't get any new pitchers that were listed, but they actually did. On the list I'm looking at, they don't have any pitchers, but Sasaki and Iwakuma were the new starting pitcher and closing pitcher added to the game for the Mariners. So let's look at them first. And then they added 2 batters for the Mariners as well, both first basemen that we'll look at in just a second here. But let's take a look at these pitchers first. Let's look at Sasaki from 2002, 66 base overall, 71 base everything except for stamina, which is pretty interesting. Never seen a card quite like his before, but I like to see something new every time Comtois adds it. So very interesting right there, to say the least. 2.52 ERA, 61 games played, 37 saves, 73 strikeouts. So this is a good closing pitcher for any Seattle team. And then for the Iwakuma cards, 2013 is his first one, 72 base overall. One of the better starting pitchers for the Seattle Mariners, so definitely want to look for this if you're a Seattle team. He had a good year in 2013, 14-6 record, 185 on the strikeouts, and 33 games started. Pretty sure he placed in Cy Young voting for one of these years. I'm pretty sure it was either 13 or 14. Can't remember which year though. 71 base overall for the 2014 season, not as good as the 2013. A little lower velocity and lower break, and in general stats overall except for the location. Then good record again, 15-9 for the season, 154 on the strikeouts, 3.52 ERA, and 28 games started. So that's the pitchers for the Mariners. Now looking at the 2 batters, which are both first basemen, and they are both vintage cards. The first one is going to be this Alvin Davis, 142 games played, 305 average, 21 home runs. Then the base stats, 82 I, 73 base power, 79 contact, 69 base overall. I've seen that, so I'm noticing a trend here with a lot of these cards. They have a lot of high base I or high base power. Not too many vintage cards you see to get base contact higher than 80. Tino Martinez here is the second vintage Sig added to the Mariners. 71 base overall for him, 78 power, 72 I, and 76 contact. Pretty high fielding for first baseman as well. 31 homers, 293 average, and 141 games played. All right, moving on to Oakland right now. Unlike Texas and Los Angeles, the Angels that is, instead of having 3 batters and 1 pitcher, Oakland got 3 new pitchers and 1 new batter. So let's look at the batter first here. The only batter that was given to the A's as a Sig was Scott Brosius from 1996. Much more well known for his time with the Yankees when he hit that game-tying home run in the 2001 World Series. If you guys know, you guys are legends. But here he got an A's card. He's a third baseman, 1996 season with the Athletics, 71 base overall, 77 contact, 75 power, 73 I, and 72 fielding. Had a good season for them at 114 games, 304 average, and 22 home runs. Believe he had a over 900 OPS as well, so this is a very well-deserved card for the Oakland Athletics. And like the Kansas City Royals, the Oakland A's aren't doing well right now, so they could use some nice batter and pitcher Sigs. Looking at the pitchers now, all 3 of the cards were modern cards. None of them were vintages. First one is Mark Mulder, 2001. Already had a prime card in this game, but they decided to give him a Sig, 72 base overall, 68 base velocity. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this card already because he already has the prime, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Same stats in the back here as his prime card. And then Joey Devine right here, 2008, 66 base overall. Okay, this is very, very generous on Comtois' part. 71 base velocity, because when you look at his strikeout numbers, 49 strikeouts. He got a .059 ERA, which is incredible. I've never heard of this guy like the other 2 cards that I mentioned. Never heard of this guy before. .59 ERA, 6-1 record, 42 games played, 1 save. how on earth does he get up 71 base velocity, 49 strikeouts? That just doesn't make sense to me. So away come to us, like I said, gives out base stats. I have no idea what they do. They probably just use this random number generator and say, okay, yeah, why not give this guy this much velocity? I don't know. But for you ace teams, this is a very, very good card to look for. 66 base, good velocity, and a very rare card. Only 1 year for him too. Joey Devine, 2008. Who knew? And then Andrew Bailey, 2009. Already had a prime card in this game, but he did get a new sig, so I'll just mention him. Won't look at him too much though, because you guys have probably seen his prime base stats already. 69 base overall. Those are what the base stats look like. And then the stats in the back here: 184 ERA, 91 strikeouts, 26 saves. He also played for the Red Sox, and he has a Red Sox card in this game as well, but that's what his ace card looks like. Moving on to the Houston Astros here, they only had one new sig added to the game, and that was a batter sig, and this one is going to be a Jim Wynn, 149 games played. I actually just got him for my Astros team like 30 minutes before I made this video, so he's a really, really good hitting card, as you guys can see right here. 80 base power, 82 base eye, 72 base contact, 70 base overall. Incredible hitting stats, and he's a center fielder too, so he's gonna slot into my bench probably on this Astros team. But looking at his card in the back, 149 games played, 33 home runs, 23 stolen bases, 269 average, again with the low speed and the high stolen bases. Good hitting stats. I'm not complaining about that, but just come on, to us, be more accurate with these cards. And again, he is the only batter sig that was added, or sig in general, for the Astros in this game for the update. For the Philadelphia Phillies here, we have 4 new sigs for them, 1 pitcher and 3 batters. Let's look at the batters first here. We have Dick Allen, 1966, 68 base overall, 82 base power, 80 base contact, 70 base eye. And just as I said a little while ago, they don't add a lot of vintage cards with high base contact. Well, this one's an exception right here. 317 average, 141 games played, 40 homers, and 10 stolen bases. The next one was this Morandini, excuse me. 1995 Morandini right here, 68 base overall, 65 base power, 69 eye, 74 contact, and 72 fielding. Not a lot of home runs here for Mickey Morandini. 127 games played, 283 average, 6 home runs, and 9 stolen bases. A very interesting decision to give him a card since he wasn't, a very prolific power hitter, but hey, like to see a variety, you know what I mean? All right, and then this Mike Lieberthal, 145 games played, 300 average, 31 home runs, 0 stolen bases, and he's a catcher. So good catcher for the Phillies. Not that they needed one because they already have JT Realmuto, but hey, nice to see a new catcher. 71 base overall, 78 base power, 77 contact, 69 base eye. And then for the only pitcher that they got a Billy Wagner 2005 card. Billy Wagner, as you guys know, already had cards for the Astros and Braves, so they decided to give him a Phillies one, which I'm very happy about. I knew he played for the Phillies because of MLB The Show, so I'm glad they added this into the game. 67 base overall, 74 velocity, 75 location, and 70 fastball, 151 ERA, 38 saves, 87 strikeouts in 75 games. For the Miami Marlins, they added 2 new sigs for this team, 1 pitcher and 1 batter. The pitcher that they added was a Clay Hensley. If I got that name right, let me check. Yes, it is Clay Hensley from 2010, who is a relief pitcher, 66 base overall card, so a decent relief pitcher for the Marlins right here. 216 ERA, 68 games, 7 saves, and 77 strikeouts. Middle of the pack reliever at best, but 66 base overall is very serviceable. And then looking at the only batter that was added, it was actually a 2003 World Series winning Mike Lowell, which is interesting. I wonder if they'll eventually add a Red Sox Mike Lowell into the game. I hope they do. 2007 Mike Lowell, please come to us if you can in the future. 71 base overall anyway, 79 base power, 72 eye, 73 contact, and a good year for him. 276 average with 32 home runs and 130 games played. Moving on to the Atlanta Braves, they only received batter sigs from this update, and there were 4 of them. Let's take a look at all 4 right here. First off, this Jeff Burrows from 1978, 70 base overall, 75 base contact, 75 base power, 82 base eye, 77 contact, and a 70 overall, 301 average, 153 games played, and 23 home runs. The next vintage is this Bob Horner, 140 games, 261 average, 32 home runs, has good base power at 79, 74 eye, and 71 contact at a 68 base overall. Lonnie Smith from 1989, 74 base overall, one of the highest rated cards added into the game. 77 base fielding really boosts that though. 74 base eye and contact, or sorry, power and eye, and then 80 base contact, the 315 average, 21 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and 134 games played with a 315 average. And then the final Braves Sig was a David Justice, so they added a Yankees Dave Justice and now a Braves Dave Justice. So he has Sigs for all the teams that he played on, I believe. Braves, Yankees, and Cleveland Indians, now the Guardians. 93 right here anyways for David Justice, 72 base overall, 80 base power, 74 base eye, 74 base fielding, 72 base contact. 270 average with 40 home runs, 157 games played, and this card is definitely worthy of a signature. For the New York Mets, only 2 new Sigs were added for the Mets team in this update, 1 batter and 1 pitcher. The lone batter that was given was Gary Carter, 1985 at a 71 base overall, another catcher Sig, and this card has a 77 base power stat line with 76 base eye, 75 contact, and 71 fielding, 32 home runs, 281 average, and 149 games played. And then the only pitcher that was added for the New York Mets was Al Leiter, 1998. So he had a Marlins card previously, now he has a Mets card at a 73 base overall, top end of the line for any Mets team. 73 base velocity, 75 location, and break and fastball are very good. And then the stats, 17 wins, 6 losses, 247 ERA, 28 games. And now that I'm looking at his profile, he did have an original vintage in this game for the team. And sorry, did I miss someone? I think I missed Brett Saberhagen. I missed quite a few actually. There's quite a few Mets pitchers here that I missed. So there is Brett Saberhagen, 1994. But like I was saying, Al Leiter already had a regular card in this game, but now they gave him a Sig, so that's pretty cool. But now Brett Saberhagen, 1994, 74 base overall, very high overall card, one of the highest ones added in the game. 70 base velocity, 79 location, and good break and fastball. 14-4 record, 2.74 ERA, 24 games started with 143 strikeouts. And then this Bob Ojeda, 29 games started, 288. 29 games started, 288 ERA, 10 and 13 record with 133 strikeouts and a 73 base overall. So the Mets got some really good starting pitching added into the game, and I believe now that is all. I was wrong about there being only 2 pitchers or 2 cards added. There were actually 4, 3 pitchers and 1 batter. For the Washington Nationals, 3 new Sigs were added into the game for them, 2 pitchers and 1 batter. Looking at the pitchers first here, we have this Dennis Martinez from 1992 with 32 games started, 2.47 ERA, 16-11 record with 147 strikeouts. A pretty good starting pitcher here. 73 base overall, 76 base stamina, which makes it a little bit higher on the base overall, but stamina might be better now with the new skills. 71 velocity, 76 location, and 70 and above on the fastball and the break. So a good starter for the Nationals. Max Scherzer might be retiring soon, so it might be nice if Comtuous would add a few more good Expos and Nationals pitchers. And then the second one that was added was Tyler Clippard. He already has a prime in this game, so I'm not going to take too much time on him. 68 base overall, and then the stats you guys can see in the back here. A good choice for a relief pitcher for the Nationals, though, because the Nationals need some good relief pitching with their team in its current state. And then for the lone batter that was added is a Nick Johnson, 2006. I actually have his real card in real life, so pretty cool that they added him into the game. 68 base overall, 79 eye, 74 power, 75 contact, 290 average, 23 home runs, 147 games played with 10 stolen bases. He also played for the New York Yankees a little later in his career, or he might have played for them a little earlier as well. But Nick Johnson, not a name that you hear that often, but he was pretty good for a couple of years. For the St. Louis Cardinals, there were 3 new Sigs that were added into the game for them, 2 batters and 1 pitcher. Looking at the batters first, we have another Dick Allen, this time for St. Louis, of course, 66 base overall, 82 base power, 72 eye, 74 contact, 34 home runs, 279 average, and 122 games played. The second batter that was added for the Cardinals was a Ryan Ludwig, 2008. I also loved using him in MLB The Show back in the day. Great power hitting card, and no exception in this game. 80 base power, 68 base eye, 76 contact, and a 70 base overall, 299 average, 37 home runs. He was a slugger, 152 games played. And then looking at the lone pitcher that was added, it's a vintage, and it's going to be this Tudor right here from 1985, 74 base overall, high stamina, so probably good to get that new legend skill on him for stamina, 71 velocity, 77 location, good fastball and good break, 1.93 ERA, 21-8 record, 169 strikeouts in 36 games started. So very, very, very top of the end starting pitcher. Now on to the Chicago Cubs. Only 2 batter sigs were added for the Cubs here, 1 catcher and a second baseman. The catcher is this Rick Wilkins right here. 1993, 136 games played, 303 average, 30 home runs, and funny enough, it was an outlier here for him. This was like his only good year of his career. I checked him on Baseball Reference, and just a very strange year for him. He didn't ever have a season quite like this ever again. 72 base overall, 72 fielding, which is good for a catcher. Get that high fielding for that laser beam skill. 79 base power, 70 eye, and 77 contact. And then Mark Bellhorn from 2002. He also played for the Red Sox, so I wonder if they'll eventually add a Red Sox sig for him. I know I keep talking about Red Sox sigs, it's just because I'm a Red Sox fan, I apologize, but 258 average, 27 homers, 146 games played, and 68 base overall with 79 power, 71 eye, and 70 contact. Onto the Brewers here. They also only got 2 batters added as sigs, and they're both vintage cards. Right here we have Greg Vaughn from 1993, 70 base overall, lower fielding and lower speed, but good hitting stats, 76 power, 74 eye, and 72 contact. He had a 30 home run, 10 stolen base season with 267 on the batting average and 154 games played. And then the second batter that was added was this John Jaha, 148 games, 148 games played, 34 home runs, 300 average, only 3 stolen bases. Base stat is at 68, just like Vaughn, 78 base power, 74 eye, and 77 contact, low speed and low fielding for him as well. Now for the Cincinnati Reds, they added 3 batter sigs and 1 pitcher sig for the Reds, so 4 in total. Let's take a look at their batters first. First off, we have Eric Davis, 1987, and Eric Davis was a big name back in the day for the Cincinnati Reds, so I'd say it's about time they gave him a sig, and this one is nothing to sneeze at here. 75 base overall, 83 power, 73 eye, 75 contact, and the first card that I've seen, vintage card that is, I've seen that has been added with very high speed, and absolutely, yes, give him that speed because he has 50 stolen bases here. Well, good job, come to us. You did right on this one, at least one of them. 37 home runs, 293 average, 129 games played. So, Eric Davis, a big name back in the day. Glad to see him that they added him in the game. Next, they added this Tabinsi. Excuse me if I mispronounced the name, but I think it's Tabinsi. 1999. 311 average, 21 home runs, 126 games played, another catcher, 68 base overall. A little low in the fielding, which is kind of sad to see because catchers need high fielding, but can get it with a higher train. It's not the worst thing in the world. 79 base contact, 75 power, and 68 base eye. And then the third batter that was added was Sean Casey, 2004, 70 base overall, 81 base contact, 73 power, 72 eye, lower fielding and lower speed, a 324 average, 24 home runs, and 146 games played. And then the lone pitcher that was added for Cincinnati was a 2007 Aaron Harang. I totally forgot about this guy. Back in the day, he was another one of the guys that I used a lot in MLB The Show. But now he's in this game. Many of you guys probably don't know who Aaron Harang is. Go ahead and look him up on Baseball Reference. He actually was a really good pitcher back in the day. 72 base overall, 70 base stats and above across the board, which is pretty impressive. He actually placed in the Cy Young vote, I believe in 06 or 07. Pretty high. Fourth place in 07 or 08, I'm pretty sure. 06, 07, or 08, one of those years. Anyway, 218 on the strikeouts, 16-6 record, 3.73 ERA, and 34 games started. So, a very good Cincinnati pitcher, and again, Cincinnati's kind of lacking in starting pitching right now, so it's kind of good that Comtois decided to add him in the game. Alright, now we're with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they only got 1 sig. And sorry for you Pittsburgh fans, but only 1 sig this time around for the update, but hopefully they added some more Pirate sigs later on in the year. The only sig that was added was 1 batter, and it is this John Vander Wal. 134 on the games played, 299 average, 24 home runs, 11 stolen bases. A good season for him, 70 base overall, 79 power, 76 eye, and 76 contact. So no pitching for the Pirates, unfortunately, which is something that they could use in this game. But another batter, at least it's something, I guess. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. They have another Pirate sig. Forgive me, guys. I am blind. It's basically 1 o'clock in the morning for me, by the way, so I probably shouldn't be up doing this, but I'm doing it anyway for you guys. 68 base overall, this guy right here, Bill Madlock right here with 154 games played, 319 average, 19 home runs, 18 stolen bases, a good year for him, 68 base overall, 80 contact, 71 power, and 72 eye. Alright, here we are with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and not like the Dodgers needed any more sigs than they already had. but they added 4 new ones, 3 batters and 1 pitcher. Let's take a look at the batters here first, and they're all vintage cards, so 1-year cards right here. Dick Allen, 1971, again, his 3rd card that I've looked at overall out of this new update. 67 base overall, 72 power, 75 eye, 77 contact, low fielding and low speed, 295 average, 23 home runs, and 155 games played. And then we have this Jim Wynn right here, a 2nd Jim Wynn card from this new update. 150 games, 271 average, 32 home runs, and 18 stolen bases. Good fielding on the base stats, 72 base overall, 78 power, 78 eye, and 73 contact. So a good hitting card. And honestly, comparable to the other Dodgers SIGs, these cards are mediocre at best. There's so many good Dodgers SIGs already, I don't see why Comtos needed to add more, but it's always good to see new content that they add for teams, and I understand. It's just that the Dodgers are one of those teams where it's like Comtos has just been like pouring into this whole time, and they really just like have an overload of good cards. Finally, this Cal Daniels from 1990 right here, 68 base overall, 77 power, 73 eye, 76 contact, low fielding, low speed, 296 average, 27 homers, and 130 games played. And then the lone pitcher that they got was a Bill Singer from 1969 that we'll look at right here. Vintage card. There he is right here, Bill Singer, 1969, 74 base, 72 velocity, 77 location, 74 fastball, 74 break, high stamina as well. 234 ERA, 20 wins, 12 losses, 247 on the strikeouts, and 41 games pitched. So a very, very top of the end starter. Then again, Dodgers are just so loaded that if you get him first, you're probably going to use him. If you don't get him first, you're probably not going to use him. So good luck out there to you Dodgers teams. If you want to use him, by all means do so. If not, there's so many other good Dodgers cards out there. So the remainder of the teams in the NL West, there are no more pitchers out there. So the rest of these teams only had batters added to the team, or added to the game, that is. So starting off with the Colorado Rockies here, they had 2 new batters added, and both of them are modern cards. First off, this Jeff Cirillo from 2001, 72 base overall, 79 contact, 70 power, and 70 eye. He has 75 base fielding as well, with a 313 average, 138 games played, 17 home runs, and 12 stolen bases. Nice to see they added a new Rockies hitter that's actually pretty decent right here. Rockies are again in a tough spot, so batters are in much need right here. Garrett Atkins, 2006 for the Colorado Rockies as well, 69 base overall, 81 contact, 75 power, 75 eye. And then the stats here, 29 home runs, 329 average, 157 games played. And again, guys, I'm sorry, I almost missed this Hammonds right here. For some reason on the update notice, he's on the very bottom, separate from the other Rockies batters. But we have this Jeffrey Hammonds here who had a good season for them. I believe somebody made a video on this guy because he had a really good season, signed a deal. If I ever, there's a YouTube video that somebody made about him anyway. 335 average, 20 home runs, 14 stolen bases, 122 games played. His base stats are 71 base overall with 82 contacts, 73 power, and 69 eye. For the San Francisco Giants here, only 3 new batters added into the game for them, and all of them SIGs. First one is a 1953 Monty Irvin. This is one of the oldest dated cards in the game, and I know Monty Irvin was in MLB The Show. Nice to see him here in MLB 9 innings. 70 base overall with 82 contacts, 74 power, and 76 eye. He had a 329 slash line with 21 home runs and 124 games played. And then the next batter that was added was this Ray Durham, excuse me for the pronunciation, 2006, 71 base overall, 76 power, 76 contact, 72 eye. And his stat line is 293 on the average, 26 home runs, and 137 games played. And then the final batter that was added is a Mark Loretta. Sorry, my brain is not working here. Darrell Evans, 1983. Oh my goodness, I'm all over the place. My bad, guys. 68 base overall, 77 power, 74 contact, 76 eye, a 30 home run season with 277 on the average and 142. And that does it for the San Francisco batters. All right, last 2 teams. Here we have the Padres, and they only had 1 batter SIG, and that SIG is Mark Loretta from 2004, second baseman, with 71 base overall with 82 contact, 69 power, 73 eye, 72 fielding, and 335 on the average with 16 home runs and 154 games played. And the final SIG that was added into the game is for the 2005 Diamondbacks. It's a Troy Gloss right here, 2005 Troy Gloss, that is. 66 base overall. I did not know he played for the Diamondbacks until I saw his baseball reference page, but he played for the Diamondbacks, so now I know. 66 base, like I said, 81 power, 72 eye, 70 contact, third base card, 37 homers, 258 average, and 149 games. Honestly, for me, it's super weird seeing Gloss in a Diamondbacks uniform because I associated him back in the day so much with the Angels and the Blue Jays that it's just, it seems wrong for him to be in a Diamondbacks team or Diamondbacks jersey for some reason. I don't know, that's just my brain messing with me. But that does it for every single new SIG that was added into the game. If I missed any, guys, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll show them in my next video that I create. But thank you guys for watching this video. I am super excited. I hope you guys can get your new team SIGs that were added into the game. If not, if you can get them by any means possible. I just hope you guys have the best luck possible moving forward into this new year. I'm stoked. I hope I can get David Ortiz, but enough of me rambling on. I've talked enough, and it's late for me. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Have a great rest of your guys' day wherever you are in the world. Please feel free to check the description box down below for other MLB 9 Innings YouTubers. I know they would appreciate your support. I know you guys would enjoy their content. Also, feel free to check me out on Instagram, Reddit, and Discord. I have those links in the description box down below. Feel free to follow me on any of those platforms. And with all that said and done, that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm going to get my sleep. God bless you all. Jesus loves you guys. I'll see you all in the next video.